hereby called to order. The secretary will note that all members are present with the exception of Carolyn Arabolis, who is on a business trip out of state. We'll rise and have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The shadow in the door. Somebody's waving. There's a tree.
Tonight is the last meeting of the present council, and council members will have retiring remarks. And I would first like to start, and just bear with me. I would like to thank the Coventry voters for again supporting me at the polls. It has been an honor to serve the town over these many years on the town council, the Board of Education, and the state legislature, and now once again on the Board of Assessment Appeals. It has also been a great pleasure to serve as council chairs these last 2 years, and I would like to thank all the members of the council for their dedication and service. I particularly would like to thank Lisa Conant, our vice chair, who took over for me when I was unable to be here, and John Han, who was chaired our steering committee. Lastly, Carolyn Arabolis, who was the chair of our finance committee. And sadly, Carolyn and Mike Sobel, who also served on the finance committee, will not be returning, but who served the town council with great dedication, knowledge, and always did what was best for the community. We have accomplished much over these past 2 years while dealing with the continuing loss of state revenue and yet managing to keep Coventry moving forward. The biggest obstacle occurred when we first took office, when the governor cut our revenue by over $700,000, which is equal to about 2/3 of a mill. And the town was already operating on a budget that was $200,000 lower than the year before. Rather than impose a mid-year increase on our taxpayers, among other things, we froze our capital budget, delayed the hiring of replacement personnel, and made further cuts to the budget. Later on, after the 2018 and 2019 budget was developed, we learned of the hydrilla program problem at Coventry Lake and the costly treatment to contain it. So many challenges at the beginnings of our term. Nevertheless, our 2 years in office, financially, taxes were only raised to 1/10 of a mill, and we recently learned that our bond rating had been increased 2 points to AA+ because of strong management and budgetary performance and our strong desire to increase fund balance. Numerous projects have moved forward, and 2 bonds were passed at referendum, providing for numerous upgrades and improvements at our 4 schools, as well as road improvements, bridge replacements, and equipment replacements at Public Works and our fire and police departments. Hydrilla treatments to date have been successful. Main Street has gained many new businesses, and our schools continue to excel. Going forward, I am hopeful that the new council will support projects started by this council, including the microgrid project, the softball field project, and the repairs and efficiency upgrades at our historic town library, as well as continue lake management and our treatments, and that it will also support the work of the Fire Transition Study Committee. Speaking of that, I would like to commend our 2 fire departments for working together towards fire and emergency services that will operate as one cohesive, efficient organization. Great progress has been made since the committee was appointed about a year ago. It has been a great pleasure to work with our police chief, Mark Palmer, our public works director, Mark Kiefer, our land use director, Eric Trott, as well as our superintendent of schools, David Petrone, and all of our other town employees. I thank them all for supporting the council's work, and also all of our other town and board employees for their dedication and hard work in moving Coventry forward in a positive direction. Much of the success of any town council is due to management. And certainly in John Assessor, Coventry has one of the best town managers in the state, if not the best. So John, on behalf of the council, I say thank you for all your guidance you have given us the past 2 years. I would also like to thank Amanda Backus, our finance director, Laura Stone, the manager's assistant, and council clerk for all of their help. Laura is not here today, but the council, on behalf of all her work, she is retiring as council clerk, have put together a gift for her, John, and I would ask you to give it to Laura
Thank you
with
very
our
much.
thanks. In closing, I wish the new council well. Thank you. Lisa?
I would like to express my deep appreciation to you for entrusting me with a seat in our town council for the past 2 years. My time on this council has been one of learning how well our local government is run, how hard our town staff works, of making many new friends in town, and of developing an even greater love of the community we call home. We've accomplished so much in the past 2 years, protecting our lake from invasive plants, stabilizing our fund balance and raising our bond rating by 2 levels, increasing transparency and regular budgetary communication with the Board of Education by establishing quarterly joint fiscal meetings, sharing information across our boards and commissions with land use consortium meetings, working with our fire departments as they move in a new direction, improving public safety with the new police radio system, supporting annual community events like Arts on Main, continuing to fix our roads and bridges, bringing the microgrid project close to fruition, regional economic development planning, supporting the Board of Ed as our schools continue to excel, and so much more. I'm now looking forward to the chance to continue all of this exciting work in the months and years to come. Thank you also to our many hardworking volunteers, both elected and appointed, who serve on our numerous boards and commissions. Your service to our town is greatly appreciated. And speaking of service to our town, it's a great joy and privilege to honor our outgoing town council chair, Joan Lewis. I first got to know Joan when she took an unsure and very new to politics council candidate under her wing 2 years ago. As we canvassed together every weekend, I grew steadily more amazed at her depth of knowledge concerning everything Coventry, by how many people know Joan and how beloved she is. Even when people didn't agree with her in conversations, or she them, the great respect on both sides was and remains clearly evident. As you know, Joan's Coventry roots run very deep. She's lived here her entire life, attending a one-room schoolhouse that was part of our public school system until the 1950s. She began her elected service with several terms on the Board of Ed and has served our community nearly continuously on boards and committees, on the School Readiness Council, as co-president of the Coventry Scholarship Foundation, and 4 terms as our state representative. She's an honorary member of the North Coventry Fire Department and has served on the town council for many terms, including several as chair. Joan, as you step down from council work for a well-earned semi-retirement, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've been an incredible mentor and role model, and you've forgotten more about public service than most of us will ever know. So on behalf of the town council, town staff, and all the citizens of Coventry, I would like to present this plaque to you. Great unveil. As a small token of our appreciation and gratitude for your decades of service to our town. And I'll stand up in a minute. Your dedication, concern for everyone, work ethic, warmth, even-handedness, and respect for all will be greatly missed. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. John?
Yes, I have a few remarks. I have a copy for you.
Thank you.
I'll get it to you after. I'm so proud and honored to have served all the citizens of Coventry as chair of the Town Council Steering Committee over the last 2 years. I'm very proud of our accomplishments, including both things completed, as well as projects that we were able to get started and move along towards completion. The creation of quarterly joint fiscal meetings between the Town Council's Finance Committee and the Board of Education's Fiscal Committee has proven fruitful through increased interbody communication and all the benefits that brings. It's good to have the left hand know what the right hand is doing in a collaborative way. Reinstating the annual Land Use Consortium has increased awareness about and among the Town Council, Economic Development Commission, the Water Pollution Control Authority, the Town Manager, Conservation Commission, Protected Spaces Stewardship Committee, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Coventry Lake Advisory and Monitoring Committee, Public Works, the Wastewater Treatment Plant, the Town Planner, Parks and Recreation Commission, Inland Wetlands Agency, Town Engineer, Town Finance Director, and the citizens of our fair town. I listed them all because I think it's important to know just how many come together for that sort of thing and how it's needed. That type of thing is needed. This increased awareness fosters understanding and benefits all parties. We've been good stewards of our environment and town character, achieving first bronze level and now silver level certification in Sustainability CT. We're now one of only 14 towns in the state to be awarded the silver level, which is the highest level awarded to any town as of this date. We've continued improvements to our parks, athletic fields, recreational facilities, and open spaces, including the opening of Millbrook Place, Mill Pond Park, and the Williams Preserve. We've continued to support our police and volunteer fire and EMS, including communications improvements for the police by joining the state network, saving Coventry millions, and considerable coordination and progress toward the future of volunteer fire and EMS services in the town of Coventry. We've worked hard to achieve fiscal accountability, responsibility, and stability for Coventry, which should really help the future budgets and projects through our improved bond rating up 2 steps to AA+, which will make every dollar of borrowing for needed improvements more affordable. This includes the over $7 million recent bond package, primarily for roads. I'm proud of keeping taxes very close to where they were when our 2-year term started, with an annual average of just 0.1 mil, that's 1/10 of 1 mil, increase over the last 2 years. Creating and charging the committee to study the various opportunities for more softball fields in town is a point of pride, as I've seen the joy on the faces of the girls who play. I'm looking forward to hearing of further progress toward additional fields being made available to them. Our longtime residents who have come to love this town have made it known that they'd like to stay. Creation of the Ad Hoc Senior Housing Alternatives Study Committee is a first step towards addressing their concerns. I look forward to seeing the work of this committee and hopefully taking steps to help allow our seniors to be able to stay. One of the most exciting and most complex projects I'm proud to be in support of is the microgrid cogeneration project. We've come so far and over so many hurdles, and the benefits will be significant and long-lasting for our community, both during power outages and just in the day-to-day operational savings, that I'm really looking forward to the final approvals and implementation. Our town will benefit substantially. Finally, it truly was an honor to serve under Joan Lewis's very experienced and capable leadership. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to serve with and learn from Joan, a true Coventry patriot and leader. As this term closes, I feel we have a lot to be proud of. Thank you, Coventry, for entrusting me to help guide us over these last 2 years.
Mike?
Congratulations to those of you that have been elected to represent our community for the next 2 years. You're here to represent Coventry. And I urge you to lead with integrity and humility. Work collaboratively with all representatives at this table, regardless of the political affiliation. Put our community ahead of your personal and political motives. Put Coventry first. I encourage you to embrace the great successes and achievement this town has experienced over the last few years. Recognize, support, and continue to advocate for our schools as they are the foundation for our great community. Support the positive achievement and direction of our schools as valued by past Board of Educations. Continue to be advocates for future business growth and development through a strong focus on economic development. Continue to focus on maintaining and improving our infrastructure. Listen to and value the efforts made by our citizen volunteers on critical subcommittees. To name a few, the girls' softball, the library renovation, school walls. It's been an honor to serve our town and our community for the last 6 years. I had the pleasure of working with some great community leaders. It was a pleasure to work collaboratively with all members of the Board of Education during my 2 terms. I couldn't be prouder of our school leadership and administration. I can only hope that the new and incoming Board of Education members can value our school leaders for their accomplishments and support the positive onward and upward trajectory our district is on. We're truly fortunate to have John's passion and devotion to our community shine through his leadership. John's forward thinking continues to keep Coventry ahead of the pack. The state and local relationships John has built over the years are irreplaceable. The team John has built to support him is strong. And I want to thank you, John. But without realizing it, you've made me and others better leaders by the example you continue to set through your leadership and management of our great town. I'd also like to thank Laura for all of her efforts documenting our meetings in such great detail. She's leaving the council with some big shoes to fill. So Coventry, the train has left the station. Our community is moving forward, and you have the opportunity to support the current direction of our town and schools, or to change it. I pray that you make the best choices for our town.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coventry, for putting your belief that I will serve the town well. I've been doing this for a while. I appreciate the opportunity to continue doing this. We have done some great things over the last couple of years, and there's still more to come, but our town has always been moving in a great direction since I've been involved. John is great at leading us, at getting us involved in some good projects, giving us great direction. He's well respected among his peers, so I thank everybody.
Thank you, Julie.
I'm going to be the briefest, I'm sure.
I don't believe it.
I wanted to thank the people of Coventry also for their support. Even though we were in the minority, we got to work with a lot of great people. I think we did accomplish quite a bit in the last couple of years. I want to thank Joan very much for her leadership, Mike for his service, Carolyn is not here. Sorry for that. I think that it's a tough job, and I think that we all work together as best as we can, and I think together we do better because we work together. Obviously, everyone's already said many nice things about John. I was thinking about Tom Pope because of the last time, and I reread the letter that he had written, and I would again echo all of those thoughts. John, you're an incredible asset to the town, and you've been a great help and leader, for the council as far as helping us keep on track. I would like to thank Laura. She's been a tremendous help. I think you'll probably miss her more than we will because whatever John doesn't remember, Laura certainly does. Yes. I think that'll be missed a lot, but Laura's been terrific. Amanda, you've served very well. It's been a difficult few years. Things started changing with the state just when you came on board, and you've done a tremendous job, and I want to thank you and look forward to working with you. I'm happy to be back on finance. That's actually where I feel that I have the most expertise to be able to help the town, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 years. Thank you very much.
Carolyn did have some remarks, and Lisa is going to read them for us.
Congratulations to those who were elected and re-elected to seats on the Town Council, Board of Education, and under-ticket positions. It's been an honor to serve this town that we all love so much. I've learned a great deal in the past 2 years about the inner workings of local government, the dynamics of small-town politics, and about myself. I'm proud of the many accomplishments this council has achieved in just 2 years. including hydraulic treatments to protect our lake, an upgraded bond rating that generated significant savings to the town as a result of our fiscal management, support for cultural events, enhancements to public safety, and restoring the council's partnership with and trust in the Board of Ed. Joan, I'm sorry that I'm not part of tonight's celebration of your service to Coventry. You have been an extraordinary role model, mentor, and friend. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served with you at this council table. You truly epitomize public service, dedication, and loyalty. I look forward to serving Coventry in another capacity and have already started to explore my options. I also look forward to Coventry's future as the new council builds on the momentum this council started with our fire and ambulance services, parity for girls softball, and needed repairs for our town library. I wish the new council much success. Carolyn Arabolos.
Thank you, Lisa.
So if you could gather on that wall, we can take a picture.
Doubled up or straight?
This is fine.
Lori usually does this.
And of course, she's a professional.
Yeah.
I just play one on TV. Thank you. So, every 2 years, there's this momentary gap between councils. So I get to say a couple things first. I'll just stand because I don't know where I'll end up. But it's my pleasure to actually serve the town councils from year to year. And obviously, I believe strongly in the council manager form of government. It's a team. So I appreciate you calling me a leader, but I'm a team, part of a team. And I direct the administrative staff, but I take the policy guidance from the various council members over the years. So it only works because you have the drive and the interest and the love of the community to make it work. So I again appreciate the comments, but it's only because you're here that it works and our staff works. So with that, it's been my pleasure to work with you, to serve you. And on behalf of our organization and our staff, I thank you very much, and I'll discharge you and invite the new council members to come up. So before we figure out the seating, why don't we have the council members the new council come out, and Lori Tolman, our town clerk, can swear you in.
I've got to figure out how to get out of here.
Yeah.
You can't leave.
So, Lisa. This is a way I can get a picture of all of you. Julie, come on.
So raise your right hands, and do you solemnly swear to uphold your duties as the new Coventry Town Council to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations. Move it back. We do it again.
Yeah.
Can you guys go back one more second? We're not done with pictures.
We didn't get enough
Not enough
pictures.
pictures.
Why don't you go in front of the picture there? It might be better for the people in the audience.
I'll get these chairs out.
Just cut it out.
You doing only head and shoulders, or are you going to take these out?
Yes.
Can I have a spot? Thanks. Is that enough? Everybody I don't know.
Is this where we rearrange?
That one. Mike, did he leave the building? Do you want me?
What do you-
You get Tater. Yeah. Back to turn this around. I screwed up. Okay, thank you. So to the, Matt Senior will sit here. To the right of him will be Matt Junior, please. To the right of him, John Hand. And to the right of John, Lisa Conant, please. And then go this way, you have John Elsesser. To the left of him will be Richard. To the left of him will be Lisa Thomas, and then our council clerk. Now it's yours for now still.
So, I guess I've been in charge for long enough. It's time to get the formal elected people back in governance of our fine town. So with that, I would call for nominations for the position of council chair.
I nominate Julie Blanchard.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote for Julie Blanchard to serve as council chair. All in favor?
Aye.
So unanimous vote. And I turn the meeting over to you to move on to the other positions.
All right. I would call for a nomination for vice chair, please.
I nominate Matthew O'Brien, Sr.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Richard. Any other nominations? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. My list. And then I would ask for a nomination for secretary. If Richard, would you be willing if I nominate you to be secretary of the town council for us?
Sure.
Thank you. Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And then I would appoint Matt O'Brien Sr. to be chairperson of our finance committee. And with him, I would ask if Richard and Lisa Thomas would serve on that committee. And then I would appoint Matthew O'Brien Jr. to chair our steering committee, and I would ask that Lisa Conant and John Hand would serve with them on that committee, please. Thank you. And the last thing, we have a local emergency coordinating committee. Did I say it right?
Yep.
And Matthew Jr. has volunteered to serve on that. All right. Anything in our packet tonight?
I have something to read up.
Okay, is that the resolution that's on here? Thank you.
So if I may, we need a resolution on regular and special meetings, and then that would be followed by establishment of the council procedures. We have selected the traditional, staying with the Monday nights, alternating. So those would be the calendar dates for that. If you need to change that, you can do so before at the end of December without having to do a meeting. So if you wish to adopt those. And then we have the rules of procedures, which are the same rules of procedures you have operated under, some of you. And again, those can be changed as need be, but just to have an organization structure to get started with, I would urge that you adopt those.
In one motion or two, John?
Two separate motions.
I'll move to adopt the proposed calendar for meetings for the Town Council Finance and Steering.
Second?
Thank you, Jim. Any other questions or changes to that at this time? No, we all just got it, but it's good, Lisa.
I didn't get a chance to check
I
all
know.
the holidays,
All
but
right, well, we can always adjust if necessary.
thank you for asking.
All those in favor of approving our appointments, regular
schedule.
scheduled council meetings, steering meetings, and finance meetings, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So council will continue to be first and third meetings. Finance will be on the second Monday,
Yes.
and steering will be on the fourth Monday of each month, as it
Yep.
has been.
I'm pretty sure we'll look, but please check.
And the council begins at 7:30, and our finance and steering meetings typically begin at 7, unless we need to make some sort of adjustment based on a need. Yes.
Madam Chair, I move to establish the council procedures according to the standing rules of procedure that we've been following.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. Any discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Are there any council, well, let me start, I'll go first with some remarks. I want to say that I'm ready to get to work for the citizens of Coventry. We can find strength in our unity as we work as a team. I ask that we all do our best to offer excellent services, efficient government, affordability for all, and full transparency whenever and wherever possible. I'm an open book. Just look at my Facebook page. Please feel free to approach me. We have town email that you can find on the town website, and I'm sure Laura will get the new members up on it soon. And when you go to that, you could select one person or the whole group. But otherwise, the town manager's office will have our names and phone numbers if there's someone that's looking to reach any of us. And I'm willing to speak to people that would like to reach out. Is there anyone else tonight that wants to say anything? Go ahead, Lisa.
I would like to thank the voters of Coventry for electing me to a second term on the council. I'm very grateful to have your support, and it's an honor and a privilege that I do not take lightly or for granted. I look forward to working with this council to continue responsible budgeting and fiscal planning that's responsible to the needs of our community and looks well beyond the beyond the short term, well into the future. I hope that we will continue our past work of supporting our police, fire, and emergency services, our amazing school system, which is outperforming much of the state, recreation opportunities, including girls softball, our seniors infrastructure, farmers market, Arts on Main and the arts community, our lakes, and homeowners affected by crumbling concrete. And I'd like to continue to prioritize innovative, rural-friendly, economic and other growth opportunities and partnerships for Coventry, such as the microgrid, senior housing, and agritourism. I look forward to working together as one council with a community-focused approach. Thank you so much again for another 2 years to continue serving our town.
Anything else, John?
So, looking forward. First, I'd like to thank the voters for re-electing me to the town council. It's an honor and a privilege to serve as a volunteer and give back to the community I love. Tonight, I find myself looking forward. I'm looking forward to progress on more softball fields for our girls, options for senior housing to allow our seniors to stay in Coventry, and hopefully implementation of the microgrid cogeneration project that will benefit our town in so many ways. I look forward to working together with the other council members to address the needs of our community. I look forward to civility among our elected officials, in interactions with town staff, and among all of our citizens, if that's possible, including on Facebook. We're all in this together. We all want what's best for Coventry today and for the future. And mostly, I'm looking forward to continuing to serve all the citizens of Coventry. Thank you, Coventry, for entrusting me to help guide us to a more prosperous future.
Matthew?
I want to congratulate all the returning council members, and I look forward to working with you again. I want to congratulate Lisa and Richard and Matt for joining the council. I think that we have a broad range of experience and abilities on this council, and I think it's going to be a good group moving forward. I'm looking forward to working with them. We have a lot of projects that have been pending, some for several years that John just brought up. I know that we will be working hard to continue and complete many of those. I am very happy to have been reelected. I do look forward to continuing to serve the people of Coventry. I'm looking forward to working again on finance. That happens to be where some of my expertise is, and it allows me to make a better contribution to the town. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And I think that we're going to be a good group, and I think we can get a lot done. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything?
I do. I'm really honored to return to service here on the town council and have received such an outpouring of support from voters here in Coventry. So I'd like to thank the amazing team that ran for office along by my side, and of course my husband Eric, who almost didn't make it here because he was across the driveway at another meeting, but he pretty much hasn't seen me for the last 2 months, so it's nice to see you again back there. My motivation when I first ran for town council in 2005 began with my advocacy for our schools and the rural character of our beautiful town. During my years in office, I worked hard to reduce spending and end to the divisive multiple referenda that Coventry used to be famous for during budget season. We put forward responsible budgets that did pass on one vote, and during those years and still today, Coventry has worked really hard to repair infrastructure, improve academic opportunities and success, protect our natural resources, and maintain a positive bond rating, and I know that we'll work together to make sure that continues. Some of the things that I'd like to see this council accomplish include seeing the current town projects through to completion, followed by developing a review process for future projects in order to continue fiscal responsibility and transparency and maybe preserve the sanity of our town staff. Making sure that our plan of conservation and development is faithfully implemented and always in the public view. This document is carefully developed by stakeholders and should be our guiding master plan. When I served on past councils, we worked to designate specific staff and commissions to oversee elements of the plan of conservation and development, and I hope that this council will make that a priority in its goals. I'd also like to, as Lisa mentioned, develop economic growth opportunities for Coventry. It just continues to be a real challenge for our town. And so perhaps this council can establish some small working groups of community members whose wide variety of experiences and expertise can really help us start to make some progress in that area and figure out how to make that work for Coventry. We just can't keep relying on a residential tax base. Finally, supporting the good work of our protected spaces stewardship. I know I have sort of a bias on that. As they continue to make our open spaces inviting and safe places to hike, to fish, or even to walk the dog. And I'm looking forward to working with Richard Williams on this, as I know it's something that he supports as well, having proposed the open space line item in our capital budget way back when. That's a long time ago. You took us all by surprise, and it was great. So it's a goal that I look forward to supporting during the annual land use consortium meetings, and maybe do some of that problem solving we trained on before. And of course continue the good work of the prior council, including developing fiscally responsible budgets that our voters can support and approve at referendum, and be willing to reduce those budgets when it's time to set the mill rate should our needs change between the May budget referendum and the setting of the mill rate at the end of June, as the prior council did twice. I think we need to have the courage to do that and to say, we know you passed something that would require a higher mill rate, but we've made adjustments and we don't need to do that. We need to take proactive steps to protect the health of Coventry Lake and of Eagleville Lake. Sometimes we forget that second lake. And I fully support the previous town council's decision to include $125 a year in the budget, and hopefully that's going to be enough to treat the invasive hydrilla in Coventry Lake. We just can't continue to depend on state grants for something so critical to our town. The health of our lakes can literally turn on a dime, leaving property owners in the lake areas with devastatingly decreased property values and decimating our parks and recreation programs. Not to mention the loss to all of us of these beautiful places to swim, boat, and fish. So I'll firmly advocate to keep that item in our budget. And finally, support the success of our students through continuing to develop and expand partnerships with our local universities, colleges, with advanced manufacturing programs and apprenticeship opportunities. Again, I thank all of you for your support. I look forward to a collaborative council that represents all of us, and I'm really proud to be sitting here tonight.
Anyone else? Then I'm looking for a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Do you want to do a picture? Well, this council.
Yeah, just sit with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, right, no, yeah, you're right.
You're right. Just think about the annual report. We can use this for again.
Yes.
That's fine.
So I was all typed up, I was like, then my keyboard died at the exact same time, so now I
So,
no, oh no, that's
for everyone, there is refreshments now if